Okay.
Alright, so for this one, instead of taking everything off, before you take everything off, just pop this. Pop the one side of the piece off, and then you can kind of pull this out a little bit and look. And if you look in, then you can see that the ballast is there. So you know that it's on this side. Rather than pulling both sides and pulling this whole cover off, check before you pull the whole thing off. Now I know that it's there, so that's fine. I can leave it. So I know that that'll be the time. You can see in there. You can see that it's blank. So you know, don't mess with that. Put it back on and go to the next one.
Okay.
First thing you do is unplug your ballast. Take the top screw out with the ground wire on it. Loosen your bottom screw. So now in this instance, you're using one driver for one tube on a 4-door, because that's just the way it lays out. You can't get over to that one to use it to power it. So this is really not wasteful, but not very efficient.
Because it's an Anthony.
Right.
No, it's not like, is that the way on every case? Every 4-door case is going to be like that on an Anthony?
Like that, yes. Yep.
So we'll end up being 3 drivers on every 4-door case.
Right.
So what are you doing here?
I am attaching the ground wire off the driver along with the ground wire off the system. Screwing it back into the case. You slide your driver in. Make sure that if there's any wires coming down, you make sure that they're not pinched behind the driver. Slide your driver up underneath the ground screw. Down, and your driver's mounted. Up your 2 strips, or 1 strip actually. In this case, only 1 strip. obvious that there's only one light, so there's only going to be one set of wires, so you don't need to worry about bringing them out like I did on the others. And it's obvious that you can see the blue wires go up to the top of the fixture, and we hooked it up at the bottom, so obviously we're going to use the reds.
Can you reiterate what those blue wires are?
The blue wires are the feeders going to the top of the door frame, and the reds are going to the bottom of the door frame that originally hooked up to the tombstones from the fluorescent.
Okay.
And we're dropping a set because on a fluorescent you have feeders at both ends, and on the LEDs you don't. You just have feeders at one end.
Put wire nuts on the gray and the purple because they're for the dimmer system.
They're for the dimming system that was not being used.
Stuff all that stuff in there.
Last step. Plug your power supply back into your driver. Come over, turn the switch on. Make sure that it's lit. It is.
We're all good.
And you're done. Hold your wires up. Make sure everything's tucked in. Wires. Right. Ready to put your cover back on.
The main thing is here is you've got a little tiny groove up there.
Right. You've got a groove at the top and at the bottom that it sits into. That's the main thing, is getting into those grooves. And I've found that the easiest way is to take that, start at the bottom and get your groove in the bottom, get your frame in the groove at the bottom, or your cover rather, and then at the top you can just slide it, and you can set the corner and you can slide it right into that groove and it sets it right in. Make sure that it's centered in there before you start putting your strip on or it won't go.